Alex, and today I'm going to talk to you about the first chapter in biology book. So the chapter's name is Science in Biology. So first we need to know what science is. Science is an organized way of gathering information about the natural world and analyzing that information. So one goal of science is to gather that information and find patterns in nature so that they can analyze them and make useful predictions about what will happen. Scientific mythology is what science is based on, also known as the scientific method. So first you start with the observation and asking questions. You need to know what you're trying to investigate or what you think is wrong. Then you need to form a hypothesis. So to form a hypothesis, it's what you will think will happen. Then you need to design your experiment that you're gonna do. After that, you realize the experiment and you analyze and recollect your data and results. Then in your conclusions, you say if your hypothesis was supported or not supported by your results. And basically that's the scientific methodology. Then we have the 4 attitudes that a scientist must need to be a good scientist. So a scientist must be curious. So if they're curious, they want to know things and they want to explore the natural world. Also, they need to be skeptic. They need not to buy every idea that they see if they don't have proper evidence. Because evidence is a key point in science, to know what's true and what's not, and to not fall in a bias or a pseudoscience. Just be open-minded, so that maybe they don't think something is possible, but if somebody tested and they have evidence, and it is possible, you have to be open-minded about these new ideas that may not be in your point of view, or that you may not see them before. Scientists must be creative to find new ways to realize an experiment, new ways around it, to find new ways and new things to do about a thing. Maybe they didn't find a solution with one way, then try it with another way until you find a solution. Peer-reviewed articles in science are really important. Why? First we need to define what's a peer-reviewed article. So a peer-reviewed article is an article that has been reviewed by other scientists. This lets them analyze each other's work and to check if these are valid or not valid papers. And usually papers that aren't peer-reviewed aren't taken serious or really prestigious. So first we need to define what's different from a theory and a hypothesis. So usually in real life, when we say I have a theory, what we really mean is I have a hypothesis. Because having a hypothesis is what I think will happen. And a theory is a collection of observations and hypotheses that have been well tested. And that's the difference of a hypothesis and theory. And let's not try to confuse them in real life, because in science can mean 2 different things. But basically, theory is bigger than hypothesis. We need to know about ethics and science. So first of all, society dictates what science can do and cannot. Sometimes science doesn't take the ethical point of view. They just want to understand, for example in biology, life as the way it is, as how we're made of cells and all those things. But you know, society doesn't work like that. So society dictates what can be done and what can't be done. The limits of science are placed because of society and what people see as right and as wrong. So what is biology? Biology is the study of life, basically. But why we want to know about that? That's what biology studies. The things are made out of cells are based in a universal genetic code called DNA. They grow and develop and reproduce. We have 2 types of reproduction. We have sexual reproduction, which is when we have 2 parents, and asexual reproduction, which basically is a clone of the individual and is only one individual. We have homeostasis, which is maintaining in a stable way in your environment. And we also have that organisms change over time, what we call evolution. So we have 10 big ideas in biology. So first of all, we have cellular as the basis of life. That means we're made out of cells. Then we have information and heredity. As I told you, we're made all of a universal DNA code. Then we have matter and energy. All organisms have matter and energy to function. Then we have growth, development, and reproduction. Every organism that's living, it grows, develops, and reproduces. Then we also have homeostasis. As I told you, this is a way to be unstable in your environment. Then we have evolution, that we change over time. We have a structure and function. Every organism has its own structures and functions. This means that, for example, if an organism lives in a certain environment, it will have structures that will help them survive in that certain environment. We have the unity and diversity of life. Life is very diverse, but the basic elements and the things that made of life are the same for all living things. We have interdependence and nature, so all living things depend on each other. They need food, they need to hunt, they need each other to survive. And we also have science as a way of knowing. Science is always changing and it's not perfect, but it also corrects itself. Science is not a collection of facts that are static. As I told you, science is always changing, and science itself is learning new things and expanding, and it's always being defined and changing over periods of time. Biology has a lot of different fields that overlap. It studies from the most individual cells to the entire biosphere, which means living planet. The most used system to measure by scientists is the metric systems, or the international system of units. So basically that's it. Thank you for watching and see you till next time.